Hey everyone, I hope you are well and welcome back to another 4D Systems project video. Today we're going to be taking a look at this thermostat project. I'll take you through all of the steps and show you how I built this in Workshop 4. Let's get started. Starting off in Workshop 4, and as always, I'll start off by creating a new project and then finding my display and setting its orientation. Today I am using an ESP32 3.5-inch capacitive touch display, and I'll be connecting it to my computer using a Gen 4 UPA breakout board. We are working in the Arduino environment, which is an environment compatible with ESP32 displays. We will design, write our code, and then use Arduino to flash the program to the display. The first thing that I want to do is add in a background graphic. This will basically just be a PNG image that sits as the base layer of the program, and then we will continue to build the rest of our assets onto it. So I'm going to make sure that Form 1 is selected here in the Object Inspector. And then I'm going to come down to the properties and simply click on the three dots next to the image option. This will open up the File Explorer, from which I can import my background image into Workshop 4. You can now see it in this window. I don't need to scale or edit it in any way, so I'll just press OK. From here, all I need to do is change the background type option from color to image using the drop-down menu, and now the background image is being displayed. As you can see, it just has some basic text and graphics that will remain still. Putting these on the background layer just keeps the project clean when I'm adding in the moving assets. Now let's add in the digits that show the temperature at the bottom of the display. To do this, I'm going to use some LED digits. I'll go over to the widgets tab at the top of Workshop, and then I'll go to the digits and drag in an LED digit. For the first one, I'll resize it, remove the decimal point, and also adjust its color. You can go further if you would like giving it a different background color, changing the leading 0 option, or even its alignment as well. And once I'm happy with it, we can leave it as is. We will be animating this LED digit with the code later on. I'll basically do the same thing for the outside temperature. I just want to change its color to differentiate between them. I'll expand the palette option and make the high color red. Great, now that we have that set up, the last thing to do for the design is the gauge that takes up the main portion of the screen. So what I'm going to do is once again head over to the widgets tab, and this time I'll go to the gauges and I will drag in a smart gauge onto the screen. Once it's here, I can click on the config option, which will bring up the smart widgets editor, and then I can start to build the gauge. First thing I'm going to do is import the base image. This will act as a background for the gauge itself. My image is simply the blue ring with the numbers going around it. Similar to our form, this base image will remain static and cannot be moved or animated like the rest of the layers. So if you are going to use it, make sure that only things that do not need to be animated are on that image layer. I'm then going to link all the groups as well, as I'll be using all 5 layers for this gauge, and I'll also enable scaling and change the value until I am happy with the size. Now let's move on to the rest of our layers. On layer 1, I am going to import my image titled current cover and enable the layer. This is essentially another ring which covers all of the numbers on the base image except for the one that is currently active. This will be rotating around the ring to make it look like the numbers are appearing and disappearing, when really, as we know, they are just sitting on the base layer and being revealed using this ring. I'll give it a max value of 35 in correspondence with the values we have on the dial. As you can see, they go up to 35. This will give the animation 35 frames. I'll set the reference point and min and max x and y values to the center, and then give it a minimum degree of -180 and a max of 170.5. I can now test the rotation, and as you can see, it is rotating as expected. Finally, for this layer, I am going to enable the numeric part option. This option will display a number that corresponds with the frame that the animation is on. So if it is on frame 10, the numeric part will display 10 as well. I'll just change its sizing, font, and placement so it is sitting in the center of the circle at a comfortably legible size. Moving on to layer 2, this one is easy. I simply have some fill colors. All I have to do is import the images and give this a max value of 1. On layer 3, I have the second half of the active color, which is a darker blue. Once again, I'll give it a max value of 35 and adjust its rotation value to match the gauge. Layer 4 has the red lines which sit outside the main blue ring. Same idea here. Set it to 35 frames and change its values so it's only rotating from the center. I'll also set this layer to be below the base image. Finally, on layer 5, we just have some finishing touches like this blue ring gradient in the center of the screen, as well as the numbers to be shown on the outside of the ring next to the red lines. This works in the same way as the display numbers for the center, where they will simply be shown and hidden as the ring rotates. So no need to give this one any frames, I just need to make sure it's aligned properly using all the position values. Once again, I'll place this below the base image. Our smart gauge is now complete. As I scroll through the frames, you can see that everything is working together as expected, and as the frames increase, so do the numbers on the gauge as well as the numeric part that we enabled in the first layer. Now that all the assets for the gauge are imported and completed, I can go ahead and click OK at the bottom of this window, and the widget will be updated with all of the assets and settings that we gave it. I can now also freely drag it and move it around on the screen, and if I ever want to change anything, I can always go back to the config option and reopen the Smart Widgets editor. So that is all of the design completed, and we can move on to the code. I'll take you through the completed code and we can go ahead and upload the project to the display. At the top, the code includes the graphics library for the specific 4D ESP32 display and creates the GFX object. This object is what lets the Arduino control the screen, draw graphics, update widgets, and access files from the SD card. In setup, the display is initialized, the screen is cleared, the backlight is turned on, scrolling is disabled, and the orientation is set. The key line is open for the GFX. This opens the thermostat.gci and .dat files from the SD card. These files contain the graphics exported from Workshop 4. In the main loop, the code first displays the main thermostat form using user image iForm1. Then it animates the smart gauge from frame 0 to 35. At the same time, it updates the two LED digits, so the numbers are increasing with the gauge. This creates the effect of the thermostat value rising. After that, the second loop runs the animation in reverse, from frame 35 back down to 0, making the gauge and numbers decrease again. The delay 200 controls the animation speed. A higher value makes it slower, and a lower value makes it faster. So basically we are just animating all of our assets from 0 to 35 and then resetting the display. For this demo, this is effective, but you could also use real temperature data as well. And there you go. The project is all finished and you can go ahead and put this onto your display. Since we're using the 4Dino environment, you can compile the .dat and .gci files directly to your SD card and then use Arduino to flash the program. Thank you for watching this video. If you would like to take a look at any of our display products, please visit our website linked in the description. If you have any issues or questions, please visit our forums and resource center, and of course, if you enjoyed, like and subscribe. Thank you for watching and see you next time.